Well, I was born and raised on an irrigated farm just on the south edge of Fort Morgan on the Eastern Plains. Growing up the way I did on an irrigated farm really shaped my perspective on water more than just becoming a lawyer. I often have told people over the years that as I got older, I realized that from the first stage of my life, I had what I've nicknamed my farm boy brain. And then I went to law school and developed a lawyer brain. And sometimes it's a question of which one of those are you really going to pay attention to, because they may be telling you very different things. But a lot of the perspective I had from growing up on a farm and irrigating myself and seeing my dad do it and all that shaped a lot of my thinking as I became a lawyer and started working with clients. One of the really fun things about the water industry is a lot of clients are longtime clients. Once you get hired, if you're successful at anything, you may have a long-time relationship with that client. I was really privileged in my career to be able to work on a number of significant projects, and I couldn't have planned it that way. It just sort of happened that way. In 1986, the city of Thornton went to Larimer County and bought many water rights under a ditch system called Water Supply and Storage Company, with the plan of taking that water out of irrigation in Larimer County and bringing it to supply the city of Thornton. That's the time I got hired by the city of Fort Collins to represent them on the water rights issues related to the Thornton project, and also to give advice about what Fort Collins could potentially do in its own water portfolio as a defensive maneuver and to preserve their rights and protect their rights from the impacts of the Thornton Northern Project, which is what it was called. I represented the city of Fort Collins for a period of 28 years on their water rights, and during that time I learned that the Poudre River is probably the most managed river in Colorado. And when I say that, I mean they make more exceptions to the prior appropriation rules than any other river I know of. They've been doing it for decades. They have figured out ways to work together with the backdrop of their decreed water rights and their priority dates. And if push comes to shove, that's always there for a fallback. But within that framework, they've got cooperative agreements. They work together. Sometimes they agree not to call each other out because somebody needs the water more at a certain time. They trade water back and forth to meet needs and get water where it needs to be now, knowing they can offset that later with a trade of some kind. The large quantity of CBT water that's available in the basin helps do that. And so the result of all that is that there has been more of a spirit of cooperation in the Poudre River Basin than any other river basin I've worked on. I will say that was more true before 1986, when the city of Thornton bought a lot of water and developed their idea to take water out of the basin. But it's still very true. And the reason I start there and come back to the Poudre River Heritage Foundation, the Poudre River also has the only, I think it's still the only segment of National Scenic River designation in Colorado. It was all done by agreement. All the water users, senior, junior, surface water, and the conservancy districts, the cities, the farmers, all agreed that having a piece of the river designated as a national scenic river designation, which comes with a whole lot of federal law baggage. No one else in Colorado would do that, but they were able to work out a way to get that done. And I think the River Corridor Foundation is just another way of carrying forward with that spirit of cooperation and education about water issues. I'm sure the presence of the Water Research Institute at CSU and the Water Archives at the library at CSU is all integrated with all of that. But they're doing some interesting things, cooperative things on the Poudre River that aren't happening or may just beginning to happen in other places in the state. But they've been doing it for a long time on the Poudre River.